not.
Will never truly be ready until his wife is in the room with him. I'm still not convinced his wife was in the room when she conceived his child. I mean, seriously, who would allow their fucking grandpa to have access to the internet so he can do things for white liberal women to use him as a talking point?
Mm-hmm.
It's goddamn near fucking bullying at this point. This man knows not the cringe he's doing.
All right, everybody. Carl, you're gonna have to watch my chat for me. My phone's about to die.
Of course, I have to be the one to babysit. Hello, chat room.
Yeah, I just want to explain. I was supposed to cover this video with Carl on his Twitch, or whatever the fuck he uses.
I was live on both YouTube and Twitch. I no longer give a fuck about their goddamn rules. They can fucking suck my dick.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, well, that didn't work out because he never looks at his messages on Discord.
Chat room. Okay, we had this conversation already. Chat room, you can testify. When I come in and I want her present for something, I will get in this chat room and make a fucking stink. Okay? And the last time there was something she wanted to do, she got at me on everything. She got at me on Discord. She got at me on fucking Twitter. She got at me in the DMs. She even went to TikTok and yelled at me. Okay?
Yes, because you don't answer your fucking messages.
It's because I was on Do Not Disturb in the middle of a stream. I tried to get you in at the moment. I see. The thing is, during the stream,
it's a little different when you message me and say, "Oh, come on and do this," and then I show up, and then you're nowhere to be found. You do it all the fucking time. Every single time.
It's a move on instinct. And more importantly, I tried to contact you. I tried to contact Aiden. I even tried to contact Olivia, but Olivia was at work at the time. She was the only woman who got back to me. I tried 4 women. I even tried Morty. I even tried getting Michelle in on it because I needed a woman next to me to see this bullshit.
All right. Anyway, we're doing another FD signifier video, and I know how you guys love it when we talk about bastard Theo Huxtable.
Don't you just love it when a middle-aged man tells you about how you're bad at sex while he has the most unsexy relationship known to man? I'll wait on my queen, and then I'll happily lick her coochie until she comes to climax as she is satisfied and deserved. And then I'll sit there and make videos in my breast nook while I fucking preen myself to white women. I don't need no blue bunny. I've got myself my camel mousse chocolate tracks.
Anyway, yeah, it's basically one big white men can't find the clit video.
Oh no, white men, black men, anyone who basically doesn't believe that white women should have the ability to stomp in your balls for free.
Yeah, just anyone who has testosterone. Anybody. Anyway, let's get into this shit. Wait, you have the... Damn it.
What?
But how are you watching along with the video?
I'm looking at the chat room. I've already watched the video.
Yeah, well, whatever. And also, he spelled
yes, he did. I called that
misogyny wrong.
How are you gonna lecture me about misogyny? You can't even spell it. What are you showing me?
Queerphobia. Content warning. Never mind.
Remember, kids, it has been scientifically proven that trigger warnings are useless and actually prime people to have even worse reactions to content. Just rip the fucking Band-Aid off and stick it in. Metaphorically speaking.
FD Signifier presents. What is this? I want to crack it up because like this is so far. Let me just continue. I'm not going to say anything yet.
The physical act of sex in and of itself
is the
really, maybe for women's part.
If you don't know what furries are, it's where school children dress up as animals.
I'm so conflicted. Jay and Pip are streaming right now. Well, clearly you do stream, dual stream both. Because you're not just streaming Jay, you're getting Jay with an insert and spritz of Carl. Ew. It's ew! Ew! I take back what I said! That sounds wrong!
Getting Jay with spritz of Carl. Anyway,
Nobody wants a squirt of Carl in your mouth. Ew.
All right, Carl. Anyway. I got beef with people like picking at Ben Shapiro for his wet ass pussy commentary when it's really just like, yeah, he's laughing at the absurdity of like he's just laughing at how absurd the whole fucking video and the lyrics are. Like, I thought that was pretty obvious to people. Oh, but he's a verge. He doesn't know that women get wet. Like, no, he was pointing out how absurd it is and how like the magnitude of the wetness. That's what he was like picking at.
I wish that we could get a look into the sex life of Ben Shapiro just to find out whether or not he is vanilla as shit or is a raging wildebeest in bed.
You know these motherfuckers are these right wingers. Like that's why this video is like. That's why this video is ridiculous, because you know that most of them are probably repressed as shit and probably do some of the craziest shit behind closed doors. And usually, I think this like the sex life thing is the other way around. Is like switched. I think leftists or liberals or whatever don't have as much sex as they say they do. Like they just kind of because it's always very braggadocious. Like, we're sex positive, blah, 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 but they probably get absolutely fucking none. Because you cannot be that miserable if you're getting laid regularly. I don't believe you.
Make that
what I usually find is that it tends to be a case of the right wing are usually going to be negative about depicting and displaying your sexual activity. While behind closed doors, they are ripping the fucking bed sheets and bed frame down. While behind closed doors, I would say not even just the left wing, because it's not a left wing issue. It's fucking activists and loudmouths speaking for the majority when the minority need to fucking go outside and touch grass. The vocal minority of the leftists will brag about, well, you guys are bad at sex and you don't understand about how to find the clit and cunnilingus, and we'll make plenty of jokes about how bad people are at sex. But then what you'll find is that they have debaucherous sex, but they're not enjoying themselves. They're coping themselves into enjoying themselves. Meanwhile, everybody who does like do the porn thing, they get into it as a way to make money. He does talk about this in this video, both of these topics actually. They get into the sex to use it for money because, well, capitalism says that I have to sell myself, so I might as well start doing this shit for cash. I might as well do it. And like I'm working and I'm striking and I'm surviving. And it's like, okay, yes, but then get better at your craft. And a lot of the times when they complain about it, they complain because it's like, oh, I wanted to sell myself for sex, but I'm not making enough on money. And it's like, well, it's like that girl that was doing the ass play fetish, the black one in the leather, the one that was talking shit about cooking. It's kind of like her. She outside of her face on one issue. She's complaining about, well, there were guys who were losers who couldn't afford my lifestyle. They weren't worth to be with me. So I had to get a real man that knew my value. Now I can do all the ass play fetish I want. And then the other side of the issue, when you go to her actual, like her work, it's all ass worship, oil, big ass fetish. And she's selling it for like anywhere to $8 to $25. And then on the underside of that tweet, she's bragging about, and I can do all of this because I have a man who's taking care of me and he's paying my condo and bills. And I'm like, and remember, I was like, get that nigga to teach you marketing. Just get the nigga to teach you marketing. That's what you have to complain about that.
All right, let's go.
The physical act of sex in and of itself really isn't all that pleasurable.
Yeah.
Most of the time you're worried about making sure the girl has fun. You get 10 seconds of fun at the end, and you have to put up with her ass for hours afterwards. That's all sex is, right?
If reproduction would be...
Yeah, Andrew Tate is why did you even have him in here? Like a lot of Now, I wouldn't say a lot of right wingers, but some right wingers don't even want him associated with them because he's a fucking hypocrite. Like you can't be anti-porn and then support Andrew Tate. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's because they have to talk shit about him because he's one of the quote bad figures. So as long as he's important to talk about, they need to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very bad for them. I personally hate it. Because when associating a man who has actively said, I will switch the side I'm playing for in my politics in order to win. So he moves to a country where he believes he can buy the police and then gets arrested by the police. And then while in jail, converts to Islam. So you can't mock him about his religion. I don't know why you would want to sling the argument of, well, he's one of yours on the right wing, because they'll just say, no, the fuck he's not. We're not defending him. The same way that there were people who were bitching and whining, right? About that about the trans park ranger girl, the trans probie that went onto the internet, flashed the guns, and got fired by the government. The people rallying around that saying, "Oh, what you don't believe in free speech? She's not allowed to go and use her and have weapons." I thought you liked Second Amendment. Yes, I do. This bitch went and flashed her weapons on the internet and antagonized people as a member of the sovereign state that she serves. She threatened people that pay her taxes and her job with her guns. What is Second Amendment about that? The right to bear arms to threaten people? All right, Compton, let's go. Take out your nines, walk up to the NIMBYs, and start threatening them outside the house. It's just Second Amendment rights, guys.
And if this person was like a cop, like a boy in blue doing that shit, like threatening people with his gun, I don't think these same people would be all right with that.
Oh, I had a mutual that actually said that. I'm like, yeah, beat cops are shit, but now do sheriffs. Because let a sheriff try that shit. Actual peace officers, not beat cops who could give you a card, say, hey, you just got to call about this. No, sheriffs, people who will come and serve the warrant that you ask for something like a protective order. The people who are going to be the ones dealing with the civil suit cases because that's their job. The cops deal with the criminal cases, but if it's something like what was happening to me and my brother, you're going to get a sheriff, and the sheriff is going to come around and ask questions and do follow-ups. They actually care. Let a sheriff threaten somebody with a weapon and it be politically bad for them. They're not getting elected back to office. So not only do they need to be intelligent, and not only do they need to care about the communities, how did they get elected in the first place? Anyways, if it wasn't through fucking the kind of bullshit that allows niggas like Raphael Warnock to be elected for my state. But how do you justify at that point? Oh, yes, beat cops suck, but never mind about those sheriffs. Who are you going to call at the middle of the night and you know that your ex-boyfriend is stalking you again and you didn't get your TPO on him? It's wild.
Yeah.
Be a disaster for you, you believe. Then do not participate in a reproductive act.
They meow and they bark.
Wait a minute, what was that?
Would be a disaster for you, you believe.
He said, if you think that you're going to be in danger for having a sexual altercation, don't put yourself in a sexual situation. So basically,
common sense.
Yes. So signifier is saying basically, see, they don't like people to have sex because they don't like people to use things like abortion. Oh yeah, that reminds me. He puts Margaret Singer in here, by the way. But I hate that talking point too. Yeah. If you don't want to get pregnant, don't have sex. Choose abstinence or learn to swallow. Okay. Or alternative, go on Amazon, $30, sexual wellness section. Go ahead and get yourself an on a hole, get some lube, about $15. Go to town. Girls, it's an alternative for you. You can use it. You can not use it. It's there. Don't complain.
Like, why do people act like it's so hard to fucking use condoms and just pull out?
Because
like, these are people who claim this is people who claim to know. Claim to be sex experts and shit. Like, it's so hard to do any preventative measure other than abortion. It's so hard. But like, isn't a part of like being a sex expert is like knowing when to control yourself? Like knowing when it's appropriate and when it isn't? Isn't that also a part of it?
Limitations? Why would I have limitations? Being a sex expert means I go hard all the time and never hold back.
all right, let's go.
They meow and they bark, and now schools are wanting to put litter boxes in the school.
And how is GOP lawmaker peddles rumors about furries in schools. What does this have to do with anything? This has nothing to do with anything.
It's just Republican bad.
Yeah.
For these children, how is this sanitary?
My first concern is that these women are describing a serious gynecological condition.
Yeah, like basically he's joking around about WAP and making like comments about how ridiculous the song is, and it is ridiculous. He's making fun of how absurd it is, and why does that mean he can't have sex? Why does that mean that? Don't get it. All right, let's go.
So
you're crooked. This is not a. You're not centered, and you're crooked. Stop it. My shit's on HD, right? Yeah. He just looks pixelated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Never mind.
I don't think it takes a lot to make fun of Ben Shapiro, aka alt-right Mendark.
It's hard because he now makes fun of himself, so it's become more difficult. That's why.
He's a comedically unserious man.
Of a mansion. Okay, here are these two ladies, and then there is just a giant golden butt.
My favorite piece of Ben Shapiro.
What was it? It's hard to make fun. Like it's hard to make fun of a motherfucker who is self-aware of how much of a fucking dork he is. Like, yeah, there's certain things you can still get on him about, and that's like some of his. I see some people get at him about his serious political stances, and yeah, but like in terms of when he reacts to absurd bullshit, like you can't really make fun of him for being a dork because he already kind of does that. So, yeah. All right.
Real cringe comes from, of course, his take on WAP, the 2020 song by Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B.
Yeah, you effing with some wet ass P word. P word is female genitalia. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you got for this wet ass P word.
Here was a.
That's the funniest shit. Because it's just so dorky and white. It's like it would have been like he would have been used for, because that's like he's basically the quintessential white guy stereotype of the 90s. He can't say curse words. It's like, oh no, titties. It's perfect.
I'm just imagining every single time he had a sexual situation in high school with his friend D. He's like, no, titties. I can't look at those. Those are for women during intimate time. He's like, nigga, it's just titties. He's like, no, D, you don't understand. I respect women.
Yeah, all right, let's see what
the song about one of the most.
Oh yeah, the peach. It's already halfway eaten. Is that supposed to be a metaphor for how he eats pussy? Just chomp. I just take it apart bit by bit.
It was on this day that I found for the first time that I was offended by something Jay said.
Also, the ironic Shrek shirt. Whoa, yeah.
Pleasurable things a straight man could appreciate, full of gratuitous titillation from a bevy of colorful, curvaceous bodies. And all Shapiro and most of his ilk could do is self-report on how they've probably never aroused a woman before in their lives.
How did you get that from that? Everybody was clowning this fucking song. Everybody was like, oh, this is... Everyone was kind of like, yeah, of course there's simps like him. And this other guy I covered on my stream who was like just mad simping for Nicki Minaj and what's her name? Megan Thee Stallion for the song. He's talking about self-reporting, but like the only reason you simp for this shit is because you are turned on by it. Which isn't really that genuine. It's not genuine support to me because, like I said, it's a very pornographic song, pornographic video. And if you try to take a serious, nuanced stance on it, you just look like a fucking coomer. I'm sorry. It's just a fucking video about tits and ass and overly saturated pussy. That's about it. If you try to take some kind of what's the word I want to use? Some kind of educated take on it, like some kind of something like some kind of scholar bullshit. It just looks like you're just simping because you're afraid to say you're horny. Honestly, that's all it looks like.
Sort of indicators here on how she could diagnose the vaginal condition that apparently these women are suffering from. So there are a few sort of giveaways. As a sympathetic human.
And this whole thing is a fucking bit. He's joking. He's not having a serious unlike you. He's not having a serious conversation about this fucking video. He's just making fun of it like everyone else. He does it in his own dorky, clinical, autistic way. That's what Ben Shapiro has embraced the meme. He did this a long time ago. Keep up, motherfucker.
Keeping up requires him to actually catch up.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta clean off my glasses. Shit.
She's getting signifier stains in her glasses, guys. We're losing her.
But that's the thing, like, I love how FD, he just fucking destroys himself in his own video. Like, Ben Shapiro's clearly not taking this shit seriously, and you are. Why? Why?
I just want to make sure these ladies get the care they need. My wife's medical advice is that they go to a gynecologist.
That says how you come off as more of a dork than Ben Shapiro. Well, first, you need to have a sickening understanding of how sex works and the dynamic of being a black male on the internet. Then you need to be fully cut to your wife to the point that you will put your children and you'll put your partner on the internet for clout, no matter what, even during the twist up. Then you need to preen yourself for white women to say, oh my God, so true.
Oh God, wait, where's my stream? Because someone said something funny in my chat. I want to find it. Damn it.
Just debate him, she says. Peanut, he will not debate us.
The metallic blur says, come on, Jay, he's a scholar at heart. Yeah, that he is. It's very true.
ASAP,
all right, let's continue.
And that they do whatever checks are necessary for bacterial vaginal.
If he was to offer you.
What?
That's what
you have got to watch this video at the same time as me, because now you're interrupting while I'm trying to watch the video.
Okay, I'm sorry. Put it on the fucking share your screen, goddammit. Then I'll ask the questions at the appropriate time.
Oh, can I do this at the same time? Ugh. No, let's put it in the watch together. Fuck it. Because this is so irritating.
But still, that was something in chat that somebody in that chat asked. Would you debate Signifier if he gave you the actual opportunity to?
See, but like, I wouldn't be serious about it. I would just like clown him the whole fucking time. I mean, I would be classy. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't be too much of a dick. I'm just saying, but I'd be clowning them. I cannot take these motherfuckers seriously, ever in life. Okay.
Hi, Lauren and Carl. Reading the tile. What?
Are you playing this, or is that just me?
You're just playing this. You didn't give me a link for the watch together.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Lauren and Carl. Reading the title, I'm confused. How are conservatives about sex when they're having more kids than liberals? Well,
exactly. That's another point I was going to make, but I was going to get further in the video first.
See, they're having it the wrong way. They're not involving extreme kinks in sex play and then involving themselves in political activism. More about that at the end. FD signifier is undebatable because debating requires you to take your opponent seriously. I would say no. It requires you to take your opponent's argument seriously. I can have a serious argument for Club Shark, for example, while constantly dogging him the fuck out for being a little bitch that ran away because you realized, wait, you have powerful friends and you're also liked in your audience. And, I just made the mistake attacking somebody who's smaller than me. I would never stop mocking the shit out of him. And at the same time, I would bring up that bit with him putting on Joker makeup and then him saying on Signifier's own video, when you associate yourself with the Joker, that's cringy. You're cringe. I would hold him accountable for every dumbass thing he said.
All right, Carl. I gave you the link for the room. Come on.
Okay.
Let's do this. okay. There we go.
He's got the care they need. My wife's medical advice is that they go to a gynecologist ASAP, and that they do whatever checks are necessary for bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, or trichomonas.
Imagine thinking that he was serious. Imagine thinking that he was being dead serious. How? Why?
Shapiro is like a living, breathing embodiment of STME. If you didn't watch the Black Manosphere video, that means scaring the maidens energy.
So terrified to say bitches and hoes that he needs to come up with an entire term to be more of a little bitch.
Scaring the maidens. I can see him tipping his fedora now. Scaring the maidens.
Has a voice that would leave a woman drier than the Sahara Desert.
I just thought of the joke. He walks into a room full of black women. He looks around the room. He looks for one who's wearing very long dreads, box sprays. He tips his own hat and flings his dress to the side and says, "My sisters."
Looks like an adult actor playing a boy character in a stage play. And his opinions and ideas about sex are devoid of anything interesting.
That wasn't really an opinion about sex. It was an opinion on how raunchy the fucking video was, and he wasn't being serious. How do you look like more of a dork than Ben Shapiro? Stop! You're black. You're not supposed to do this.
You're not supposed to be this much of a bitch. You're supposed to be funky. Why aren't you funky, nigga?
Be a black man, damn it.
Fun or in general sexy. To speak of Shapiro as the embodiment of the right wing's deficiency in sex isn't
deficiency. Like I said, like someone else brought up in chat that I was going to bring up, but yeah, they have more children than you. They have longer lasting relationships with you. There's no way that all of them are not fucking. There's no way.
All that hot of a take. However, it doesn't end there, because all the way on the other side of the spectrum, going from Men Dark to Johnny Bravo, we have Andrew Tate.
What the fuck is this?
Sorry. I thought you didn't freeze on the frame, so I'll try to freeze the frame.
Also, that was a funny picture of Andrew Tate, by the way.
All the way on the other side of the spectrum, going from Men Dark to Johnny Bravo, we have.
Also, what's Men Dark? It's Man Dark, nigga.
Men Dark. No, he's making a joke. Men Dark. Their sexual urges. The sexual urges of men are so dark. It's a metaphor, Carl. You don't get it.
Is it deep like the pussy he never fucks?
Cavernous. Oh yeah, Johnny Bravo MAGA. Yeah.
Have Andrew Tate.
I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever. You're going to be crying. I won't cry.
Andrew Tate is so fucking pathetic. I don't understand how anyone can take him seriously. He's got no chin. How is he the face of masculinity and he has no fuck? He's got less of a chin than Leafy. Remember that whole joke about him not having a fucking chin? Leafy's got a more developed chin than him. He looks like a.
This is what happens when you let your autistic kids play unattended on the internet. They turn into misogynistic Caillou.
He looks like a circumcised penis when he jerks back his neck back. When he does that fucking face in his video, he does his face in his videos where he's just like, oh, and he looks like his head's not even proportionate to the rest of his fucking body. That's why he always films himself from the fucking waist up. So you don't notice how small his head is. Oh god. Oh. Anyway.
I bet you cried. You're challenging me to a fight. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved.
Tate scares the maidens in a different way, possibly by being an alleged sex trafficker, but also a scammer through a prolific pyramid scheme that he made possible through his absurd sexist hot takes and alpha male persona. On a few occasions, he's talked about sex in a way that raised my eyebrows a little differently than with Ben.
Sex in and of itself is boring. Any man who sits and says that sex is great or sex is fun just clearly hasn't had enough sex, because sex is boring. Sex is a chore.
Now, the whole concept of
See, that's just Andrew Tate, though. He's basically a sociopath. Like, of course, sex is boring. Like, he's a sociopathic narcissist. Of course he is, because it's not all about him. That's why. That's why he finds sex boring, because it's not all about him.
We have to do the due diligence of digging deeper, because we know for a fact that Signifier does not know how to dig deeper into arguments or the coochie.
Yeah. And so he sees this as like, oh, this is a conservative talking point. No, this is a Andrew Tate talking point. This is who he is as a person. Like, what the fuck? How are you this stupid?
You have to put in Signifier. The problem at this point, I'm just going to start addressing Signifier directly. So you see Signifier, the sex trafficker who has women have sex with him and maintain a relationship with him using the lover boy technique. Not that different from the pickup artist technique known as sex god DEVI method. Dominance, emotion, what was fucking I? I know that V is variance, and I believe I is instinct. They specifically use this methodology to give women the kind of toxic relationship that you love to see in black films and in black media and in black sitcoms and in black dramedy shows and in black thrillers. He creates an environment where women love the danger, love the passion, but can't stand the obnoxious attitude of the man, but he has money, so she can just forget about that and buy herself shopping bags. He sees it as a chore because as a man that can access other women for sex, as you will argue in your own video, he doesn't care if she gets off because he's a narcissist. However, sex is a chore, and it's probably one of the most important things to do in a relationship with another person. Not a situationship, not friends with benefits, an actual relationship where intimacy is involved. Sex is an important thing because if you're not having sex in a relationship, that is a deadbed relationship, and you're more than likely going to end up separating and divorcing, if not breaking up, because it's based on an emotional bid. Wanting to care about both your partner's desire, your partner's ability to finish, your partner's ability to achieve, I'm going to phrase it as orogeny, because the other word will definitely get you banned off YouTube. All of those things are a necessary function for a compatible and healthy sex life. Come on in, gentlemen. In order to do that, the emotional bit has to be understood. I like eating my wife's coochie. And in hoo-ha, I like her to give me one of Kobeni's homemade old-fashioned sloppies. Right? You have to care about these things, Signifier, because if sex is a chore and it's boring and you fall into a routine, that is usually how you end up in a deadbed relationship, or at least somebody starts thinking about affairs, or worse, in your mind, porn. And no one can always use mind she hates porn, because violent sex. But in Signifier's mind, I don't think I've ever heard him just suggest what he hates to see in porn. I imagine it's so bunnies and coal butters, but imagine if you could, Signifier. Your wife starts getting on the anti-coal burning train, which is to say she's burning white phosphorus. She starts looking at bleached videos, my guy. Your wife starts pulling away from you because you can't put it down in the bedroom, despite what you about to cope in this video, okay? What are you going to do? Are you going to man up and say, well, maybe I should have a conversation with my wife. I'll find out what I'm doing wrong. Then maybe consider letting her fucking give me a rim job or some shit. If it saves my marriage, if it allows me to still be a father of my son, is it going to be a chore for you? Probably. But if you care, you're going to do it because it's labor. It's emotional labor. It's technically sexual labor. Not the kind of labor that gets paid, but the kind of thing that you have to do. Otherwise, you lose things. It's called maintenance. On that level, I am pretty sure that's what Signifier wants to try and claim. Just throw it out with the bathwater, like usual. But on that level, there is a point to Andrew Tate, but the problem is that the point's on the bottom floor. This motherfucker is in the stratosphere. He is choking on his own hot air. How don't you get that? Let's keep going.
All right, let me read the super chat right quick. Joe Vinny the Hyena, $5 super chat. I just walked in and I can't predict he's trying to say Tate is a conservative pickup artist or bad, therefore it's right wing. Yeah, basically. Like, and he's not like, he's nowhere near conservative. He's a grifter. He's grifting. He's doing the grift. I don't know how people don't pick up on that, but
of being an alpha male is nonsensical and unscientific. But if we were to take it seriously, we would assume that the alpha males would be great at sex. But something tells me from the way that we've often heard so-called alpha males talk about sex, that while they're maybe very skilled at obtaining access to women's bodies, they probably don't know how to please those bodies once they are giving access, nor do they care much about this deficiency in their alpha male performance art. In fact, numerous studies around sexual satisfaction indicate that women who exclusively have sex with men have the lowest levels of sexual satisfaction.
Do you care about a woman's orgasm?
Nope.
How do you quantify a woman that he wants?
The only reason I care about it is because it kind of, and this is bad for me, this is my kryptonite, it strokes my ego. Next time I'm gonna do even better. Like I do that for myself though. It's more so that.
Wait, this is your example of him being bad at, like, these type of people being bad at sex?
A person openly admitting on Fresh and Fit, a person who a group that you've actively said, I don't care about them, they're just part of the problem. A man actively being able to take, 1, humility because he's being mocked by the women, 2, showing openness because he's being honest and truthful if he's not fucking lying, and 3, admitting, yeah, that actually is something that I'm bad at. And the reason why is because if I was to focus on it, it'd be for my ego. This is a man demonstrating and doing that thing that you claim that men don't do. So what's the next hope? What's the next hope, fam?
Yeah.
Then like, oh, she's satisfied and she's ready to bat. Like, I'm not really, whatever. It's like, nigga, I did my thing. I beat my time last time.
So if we were to operate on the logic of, the real men, the right-wing men who indicate that they are the ones getting all the coitus out there, then is it that big a reach to say that maybe those guys suck at
If you keep framing it as fucking peach. If you keep, he even put in a bite effect. You realize that's not the natural biting sound. But
I know. I can spot those things.
But like, you keep saying the right wing guys, but realistically, you're talking about men on a spectrum. You're claiming that all men are bad at sex, and then you're saying the conservative men. When you say conservative, you mean the niggas I don't like. So of the niggas you don't like, are they having bad sex? No, they're probably having better sex than you. They're probably having wilder and kinkier sex than you, because these motherfuckers are subscribed to King Nazir, beating the shit out of fucking Camaro Clutch. They're taking notes, my guy. They're taking notes. Does it mean that they're emulating it? No, but they're learning. They're definitely learning. And you're too busy mocking them to learn.
And like, that's the thing. Guys like him are like, would be really fucking lazy in terms of sex, because they'll just basically tell themselves, oh, women just don't like that dirty stuff. So I don't have to fucking ask them about their input on sex, because I just know as women, they don't do that grosser stuff. But it's basically just him coping for his, lack of experience and insecurity and shit.
Should have done more fucking in college. What can I say?
The fuck?
What? I thought you were gonna click the button.
I am clicking
Outside
it. It kept
actual
pausing.
sex, it's even more obvious that conservatives aren't satisfied with bad sex for themselves. They want bad sex for everyone. And
statistic and citation needed. Statistic and citation needed.
Not just bad sex, but bad sexual health, bad sexual freedom, and bad reproductive rights. In fact, it's relative.
Not getting an abortion does not mean you don't have does not mean that you lack reproductive rights. Get the fuck out of here.
To be fair to say that there's nothing that can.
God damn it. Not wanting women to use abortion as a form of birth control so they can shout about their 27th abortion use that week, that month, that year does not mean that they want them to have sexual consequences to make them suffer. You asshole.
Oh, damn it. We keep pausing. We keep pausing and unpausing at the same time.
And limited government have spent more time trying to control in the past few decades than the sexual activity of all people in this country. And I want to explore why and how that is. And to help me, I brought along, as I often do, a wide variety of people with different experiences.
OnlyFans whores.
Kind of fill in the blanks where I could.
Self-developed pick-me's.
see people coming from more conservative areas.
BDSM enthusiasts. Why do they always look like this nigga? How come they're not attractive like in the movies?
Now remember, chat, this was the guy who went all in on bullying Xander Hall when he was being harassed and financially castrated by his girlfriend. Remember, this man, he is a BDSM enthusiast, which probably means he is a financial domination pay pig. It's very likely. If Vosh is into horse cock and horse porn, this man probably is into having his balls crushed and watching money get burnt in front of him.
Jesus.
And then you'll start to see Grindr.
And I love how he wears that fucking Cuban link shit. I don't know why it's funny to me.
As a queer man, you'll be on Grindr and you'll be scrolling and you'll see the regulars and you know who they are. And you'll start to see that wall of regulars change quite dramatically. The Tory party, the electoral Tory party, come to Manchester and they hold like a huge conference where they basically talk about how they're going to fuck over the poor and fuck over minorities. And you also see the Grindr wall change quite dramatically during that time as well. And what you tend to see more than anything, and this is like a huge thing, is so you'll hear queer men talk about discreet men and discreet profiles and stuff like that.
Men are very self-explorative, I feel like.
Like, what? I thought men were bad at sex. It seems like they're really really good at it if they're having secret fuck meetings. I thought they were supposed to be bad at it. Like, not having it and then restricting it.
But see, they're having it unclosed doors. That means they're worse than closeted gays.
And it's homosexual.
ABC! Homosexuality!
Oh, also, this motherfucker looks like a Validate character.
Bitch, that is a Validate character.
Cammy. Pandemic. Oh, wonderful. Sex worker. Sword enthusiast.
For the people in the chat room, that means he's bisexual, but he prefers men.
Oh, that would be funny if he actually... Oh, I want to tell people about swords. My sword collection.
That's a different dating game. That's Boyfriend Dungeon.
He turns
into a thin, long rapier.
That fucking game you showed me.
Yes.
That's more perverse than any fucking anime game with like the chick with anime chick with big titties bouncing around in a dating game. Like, fuck it.
I feel like it's very easy to get in your head about you. You know, get in your head about the things that you like, the things that you want to do.
Oh, and the chat cheeks for Cammy.
I think a lot of men don't like unpacking that, like, there's another person there, to the point where, like, again, you have memes where dudes be like, look, we was both having sex. I don't know why you ain't get off, but I did. And we all know that don't make no sense. It's 2022. If you didn't warm it up before you went in, don't expect an orgasm, because most vagina having people, period.
Vagina having people. Isn't it just like easier to say women? You know, vagina having people. You sound like a fucking idiot.
Do not come like that from penetration anyway.
So,
literally, me and everyone I know.
They don't come from penetration alone. There are three kinds of stimulation. You need to use at least two of them, because more than likely women have either not been sensitized or have been desensitized from one or more. Thanks, white women like Danny. Also, guys, this is a sex worker. She's bisexual and is dating a man, but used to just only have relationships with women. But the background would suggest that this is one of ours.
Like, where does she film her OnlyFans? At a truck stop? Because she looks like that pedigree of sex worker.
The tattoos are not helpful. It was actually a joke that Jay and I said that that Cammy and Danny are living in the same house. Because if you notice, chat, if I can roll back close enough, if you notice, they have the same vines hanging over their bed frames. It's exact same ones.
They're in a polycule. I was telling you, yeah. I remember, so I told you, it was like, they're in the ugliest polycule. And it's probably in Portland.
It's one of those real fucked up sex polycules. Cammy takes the men, and Demi takes the women, but can also take men, but not if she's dating a boyfriend at the time.
There's just a lot of reasons for why we're all like, okay, well, if you're gonna kick us off, like, we're gonna go to Fansly, we're gonna go to this other platform.
Whole thing about like the I don't know, relative intuitive unsexiness of like,
oh yeah, CJ the X, the Latino who just happens to have a blonde piece of hair, died for some fucking reason. That's a creative Christian. I still don't know what the fuck that means, but this is the token proper Christian who's going to use Jesus as a justification for why he's a leftist.
Like,
see, Jesus got stabbed with a spear, so I get to get speared up the ass. That's his fucking watch.
The Lord could take it for the entire human race. I can take it for Miguel for 5 more minutes.
Yeah, also he's non-binary. That's
large one, where it's like, well, it's not very like hot or sexy or stimulating to be like things should stay the same or go backwards. Like if that's a very general summation of what your opinion is, right? It's like, of course, like the places of creativity and eroticism and like taboo and boundary pushing is largely going to be like the people that are trying to abolish like the structures that we currently exist inside of.
I don't really care that much about sex, but because of sort of the aftermath of the sex wars, it was sort of reduced down to this point of like women having sex is good, women shouldn't care about how many partners they have, women should be having lots of sex. On the more liberal,
wait a minute,
the structures that we,
women having sex is good, women really care that much.
Shit. She's ace.
All of the talking
practices BDSM.
BDSM
Can you
and
fucking
sex
explain this? Explain that.
Oh,
to
no.
me?
Oh, that's easy. It's a very simple thing. It's code word for dominatrix. You couldn't tell from her makeup, making her look exactly like Alexin Bornstein?
No, it says she's ace, which I think means she's asexual.
Hold on.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you looking up?
Ace for you.
Yeah, but I thought it meant asexual because they all put their gender identity and sexuality in their description. Something, and does that mean she's asexual? That's usually what they call themselves.
Yes, the particular kind of ace that she is denominating for is the kind of ace that wants friendship, understanding, and empathy over high sexual relationships, to be able to fall in love in relationships first, by relationship-wise before emotional, experiencing arousal and orgasm. So basically, she's like physiology. She wants good sex. The choice to be able to masturbate or to not masturbate, the choice to engage in sexual activity or not engage in sexual activity, and to be of any gender, age, or background group while having a spouse and or children.
So she's a woman then. She's female.
Yes.
And somehow she thinks that makes her asexual.
It's like the people who call themselves demi, like Cammy did. Demisexual being that they experience sexual attraction once they form a strong emotional connection to another person, otherwise known as being a normal human being.
Much about sex, but because of sort of the aftermath of the sex wars, it was sort of reduced down to this point of like women having sex is good, women shouldn't care about how many partners they have, women should be having lots of sex, on the more liberal left-leaning side of the spectrum. And there's sort of a pressure to almost performatively have lots of partners and have lots of sex even when you don't really care about it. However, I still prefer that over the way that conservatives generally think about ace people.
Women out here on OnlyFans making.
What do conservatives think about ace people? Don't nobody give a fuck about y'all.
That's the thing. They don't. They literally don't think about them. It's not that they hate you. It's that they literally don't even know you exist.
They don't even consider us. The sex war, like, why would the people who don't have sex aren't cared about in a war about sex? Like, yeah, stupid, because you don't have it. You don't have a sexuality. Stop it.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They literally don't have sexuality until they get wet.
A month. I'm just making millions of dollars a year. They're not making this from out the ether. You know what I'm saying? They're not making this from people.
Dr. Candace Hargens, straight sexologist. That means she's not qualified. Go get a queer one.
Exactly. Like, I love how the only straight person they've talked to is the only one with a job. The only one with a real job.
Oh, and though she's the one that's the self-developed pick-me.
People who don't have the money, they're making it from the same population that denigrates them and then calls men simps for spending money on it, you know?
Yeah. Most of the time, your community will excommunicate you for being vocal about what is true, what is honest.
They'll know it in the background too, low-key.
They'll know it. Of course they'll know it because they will be participating in the sex club with you. So it's like, we're doing this under Non-Disclosure Act. Anybody who says anything about this will be sued and we have the legal power to do it, that type of thing. Because it's so shameful to our base, because we've created these stereotypes about who we are and who we should be that our base is bought into. Nobody's living up to it, but rules are for poor people. You know, like laws are for poor people. That's how that works.
Lastly, as many of you know, videos like this are hard to keep monetized.
Your editing is trash,
but that's okay. Thanks to today's sponsor.
I had to edit this part out due to monetization policies. I think it's impossible to tell half the time. Either way, in the description or the pinned comment, you can find out who today's sponsor is. It's a sponsor very appropriate for the topic. I thought you were sex positive, homie. Oh, I guess YouTube is another one of those anti-sex conservatives you don't like. They're demonetizing me for sexual positivity. Clearly, they're conservatives as well.
They're sex negative and they hate another nigga. They won't let him get paid. No,
they won't let a black man make money off titties.
Now use that 50% discount code to get yourself a nice, good vibrator, woman. Really connect to your ancestors from the 1600s. Bzzz for freedom, girls. Bzzz for freedom.
Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene. What about your queer conservatives like Rick Rubin and Blair White? For the sake of decorum, I won't.
He got his name wrong, so he just left in that Dave in the corner.
Than more left-leaning people. But does this perception hold up to scrutiny? It's one thing to say that Ben Shapiro leaves women drier than Popeye's biscuits. I don't feel the need to support that scientifically. But what about the ladies? What about Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene? What about your queer conservatives like Rick Rubin?
See?
Rick Rubin? How the fuck did you fuck it up so badly?
Because he doesn't know who he's talking about. He just knows what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, I already know that FD Signifier does not research anything that he fucking talks about. He just talks to his fucking degenerate friends. I mean, I don't need to prove that scientifically.
I don't have to prove that scientifically. We can. I can scientifically prove how you're a bitch. I'm just gonna call you a bitch and move on.
Blair White. For the sake of decorum, I won't speculate too much on what conservative ladies or queer people are doing in the bedroom, but I'd venture to say that there's probably not a ton of fireworks going off on those thin blue line bed sheets. But
Cap.
Also, yeah. Blair White totally is not getting piped.
And more left-leaning people. But does this perception hold?
I can make it real easy for you, Signifier. Go on. We'll do it as
we up to scrutiny. It's one thing to say that Ben Shapiro leaves women drier than Popeye's biscuit.
Multiple kids.
I don't feel the need to support that science.
Married woman.
Also married.
But what about the
Pretty sure she has a kid. Because Candace, she's got dick sucking lips. You know she's giving head.
Ladies, what about Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene?
She might look like somebody's really stressed out aunt that chain smokes, but she looks like somebody's stressed out aunt that chain smokes. She's got a throat like the Hoover Dam. She can hold back liquids for days.
Green. What about your queer conservatives?
I live in the South. I've seen this shit happen.
Like Rick Rubin.
Married gay, literally is raising a child with his gay partner, and you know how those gays are. You know how those gays are.
It's two men. They fucking steady. Like, come on.
Two dudes.
And Blair White.
And Blair White, married, literally documented her male partner proposing to this trans woman and actively fucks them on the regular.
Have you seen her? Yeah, have you seen her like husband or boyfriend, whoever he is? Like,
oh yeah,
he's good looking motherfucker.
A good looking man.
Good looking nigga. Oh, damn it. We keep pressing the goddamn button at the same time.
I won't speculate too much on what conservative ladies or queer people are doing in the bedroom, but I'd venture to say that there's probably not a ton of fireworks going off on those thin blue line bed sheets. But this is based on my biases.
It's because they're not fucking on the thin blue line bed sheets. They're fucking on the couch, and then they're fucking on the floor, and then they're fucking on the ottoman, and then they're fucking on the kitchen table or the island, if you have an island. Then they're fucking on the chairs of the island. Then they might even make it to the stairs before eventually fucking again in the shower, and then possibly fucking like on the floor, the room, because like they couldn't make it out of the room.
And negative opinion of conservatives, as well as I should say that your queer conservatives like Rick Rubin and Blair White. For the sake of decorum, I won't speculate too much on what conservative ladies or queer people are doing in the bedroom, but I'd venture to say that there's probably not a ton of fireworks going off on those thin blue line bed sheets. But this is based on my biases and negative opinions of conservatives, as well as the conjecture on the clearly regressive and often unfun stances that they publicly have.
Unfun, because when you're trying to govern people and you're trying to like put forth laws or whatever, or morals that saves people from themselves, it has to be fun. Why can't you just be fucking fun? Like, y'all talk like children. This is child mentality. I know you're giving me rules, but why can't you just be fun? Why can't you just let me eat a jar of frosting at 3 a.m.? Why do I have to go to sleep and get 7 hours of sleep and go to school the next day, Mom? Like,
taken towards sex. And I wouldn't call this data driven. And the data doesn't fully.
It's not data driven. Yeah, no shit. Dude, your whole YouTube catalog is not data driven.
In fact, at least one survey I found in the UK of nearly 20,000 people found that people who were more right wing, key phrase here coming up, self-reports more satisfaction in their sex lives. So I guess that's it. Up yours, woke moralists.
Yes. They have children.
Also,
children and relationships that have been long-term relationships at that. Ask any of these motherfuckers that you've been talking to. How long have their relationships last? Do they have any children? Do they have any of that? I bet most of them fucking don't. They don't look like they wash their asses half the time.
Many of them are anti-kids to begin with. Also, Jordan Peterson, married man, famous daughter.
Folk moralists.
What the fuck are you doing? Are those peach stains on the goddamn table? Oh.
Just takes an aggressive bite and stares at the camera. I'm gonna eat your pussy like this.
Trump. Get some brawny and wipe that shit up. You punk ass. Jesus.
So obviously, this is not the end all be all, but it does leave us with a lot of further explaining to do. First, I want to be clear that when we're talking about bad at sex, I'm not just talking about one's ability to please another in the bedroom. I'm also talking about one's general attitude towards pleasure as a whole, one's ability to please themselves, as well as do it in a healthy and honest way. I'm also talking about literal health practices such as wearing a condom, using birth control, not fudging the lines of consent, and of course, providing effective support systems for reproductive care, making sure that American women don't have maternal mortality rates that rank 55th in the world.
We haven't had that in a long fucking time. What are you talking about?
Also, why do I need to pray to Allah before I'm able to touch my balls?
Exactly. Like the invention of hospitals cut the female mortality rate like in half, maybe like even a lot more than that. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, doctors exist. Republicans have nothing to do with fucking with birth mortality rates. That has nothing to do with anything. What are you
Educating young people.
Medical science has something to do with
And
that.
yes,
you dumbass.
even children about sex and sexual health. Being serious about protecting sex workers, being diligent about seeking justice for victims of sexual violence, and protective of the freedoms and rights of queer people, and so on.
If you want to protect sex workers, much like I said in my own fucking take, and when we get to it, we're going to go in on it, because I cannot stand this. I don't know if I'll do an antic like I did. You lose the visual element. The chat won't be able to see me smothering a pillow with my ass. But if you want to protect sex workers, you need to start making them actually report these crimes that they claim that they're being violated by, okay? If somebody is actually forcing you into a van and they're doing it under duress, and they are forcing you to leave and come to a place at an undisclosed location and is doing violent and aggressive sexual actions to you, then paying you hush money to keep you quiet, it is your responsibility to tell us who is responsible. Nigga, I'll be right next to you. I will use all of my federal state power that I have as an ex-fed to get people to where you are, get you the resources, and get you the necessary lawyers and the judicial processes to put them in jail and or worse. But when we do this, what we often find is you and those like you are the ones who say, actually, what are you victim blaming? No, I'm victim asking questions. I'm victim investigating. I'm victim concerning and analyzing the scene of the crime. I'm trying to victim conserve, not victim explain. I don't want to explain why there's a victim. I would rather explain to you why this survivor was not victimized because we got to them in the nick of goddamn time. My job was. You and people like you are a goddamn blight when it comes to protecting people who are innocent or who just happen to get on the wrong side of the law and now are in a worse situation because people have written them the fuck off. You're more than happy to throw them to the goddamn darkness and forget that they exist as if they don't serve your worldview. But because you like to use sex politics as a talking point to win people over to your, quote, side, you are the kind of person that will say, oh yes, I love sex workers. But then you're about to dog shit out of the white women that you brought on here yourself to say, well, see, the white women didn't really care about our black sisterhood because they were just a facilitated use. Because you gotta remember, patriarchy isn't gendered. It's so annoying. It's so pedantic. And it's so performative. Not only is it...
Okay.
Okay,
let me read these super chats. Okay. Papa Piker, $2 super chat. So leftists self-report bad sex lives then. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All the time. Joe Vinny the Hyena, $2 super chat. I love to see this guy's kids. Wait. What the fuck? I saw this really good comment. Ebony Williams. Okay. Ebony Williams. I mentioned this in Carl's stream earlier. Maybe it's not that conservatives are bad at sex. They just don't openly broadcast their sex lives to the world. Yeah, boom. Exactly. They just want modesty. Y'all, you motherfuckers are not modest. And half the time, y'all probably cap in any goddamn way. I could really make someone come. Like, I mean, some of y'all don't look like ghouls. Okay, let's just keep it real. I don't understand how any of you motherfuckers are fucking regularly. Like that, and it's not out of desperation. I don't get it. You look at like Dave Rubin, and you're like, oh, he's a good looking guy. And Blair White, good looking chick, good looking trans chick. I can see how she can get it.
She passes.
And yeah, right. Candace Owens, like these people are like at least somewhat conventionally attractive, like mostly conventionally attractive. But like some people like FD and all these whores that he was talking to, I'm like, who is fucking you? We're sex workers. Yeah, we know. That's the only way y'all could probably fuck somebody is if they're paying you. Because I don't understand this. Anyway, let me read this other super chat. Snewbirth 13, $5 super chat. I love how the rape avengers practically encourage you not to report or go to the hospital. That hiding in your head is a better alternative. Yeah, don't report it because they're not going to do anything anyways. As if that's not self-reporting in itself. Like. Keldrick, $10 super chat. Why does he feel the need to emphasize self-reporting as if it's some own? Do they have a way of measuring how pleasurable sex is without asking the people having the sex? Oh, Aura Master DX, Abby Shapiro, Cosver Milkers. Jesus. You go XGC, £5 super chat, putting a lot of blame of bad sex ed, a general national setback on conservatives and taking credit of medical advances for the left. Oh, Senti DLDL, Rick Rubin and Owens, popular conservative pundits. Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin. Wasn't that the name of a fucking, like, music producer?
Rubin sounds familiar. Did you read the one from number 13?
Yeah.
Okay.
Evil Hero Diamond Cat, $2 super chat. There are older super chats that skip. I know, because my phone's about to go out and I want to be very careful. Because my phone is gonna fucking die. This was a spur of the moment stream, so I didn't have a chance to charge my phone. Like, Carl, aren't you supposed to be watching my chat?
I am watching your chat.
You have to read the super chats.
I tried to,
gonna die.
I tried to, and then you yelled at me.
You kept talking about other stuff, though. You haven't reported one super chat.
Yes, I did. I watched at least 3 of them. Joey Joestar.
When?
Earlier. So what is Soy Young Ripper going to say? No, don't compare him to Eric July. Don't do that.
No, yeah.
Dude, don't do that.
No. Don't do that. Like, Young Ripper has so much testosterone, he's growing a fucking sweater on his back. This motherfucker came.
Whenever he calls his wife into the room, I always feel like he's just going to pick her up and put him on his face just to, like, prove a point.
And this motherfucker, like, you can tell he staples his braid hair to make a beard. Staples it to his chin.
Early defined by self-reported satisfaction. Yeah, I don't think my thesis has a lot to stand on, nor would there be a whole lot of useful data to support it overall. However, when you look at the political stances of right-wing people, then it's obvious that so many of these other elements I just mentioned are definitely not areas of strength. But let's get back to some real research. A different survey in the US had similar findings about sexual satisfaction, but also found that conservatives were less likely to use condoms, masturbated less, and had sex less frequently. I imagine that many would point to religion as a core factor for bad.
Maybe they're just not degenerates. Maybe that's just all it is. You saying these motherfuckers are repressed virgins because they don't live, like said, like they don't fucking huff, like, inflation porn. Like, oh god, I need to see Bowser's cock, otherwise I'm not sexually free. I'm not sexually free if I don't want to suck Bowser
Sex
cock.
for conservatives, but a study published
possessed by fucking Loping. What the fuck?
It was so weird for you to go to 2015.
Because that's what I've been seeing mostly on Twitter right now. Because I follow his ass.
Found that people living in the Bible Belt and the South consumed the most.
Sure that's not a self-report, Lauren?
You cannot scientifically prove that, Carl.
I'm not a theologian, but having known a few, I'm hesitant to blame this solely on religion, but more so on how religion is utilized in the West. Not the Bible specifically, but the unique colonial and oppressive religious dogma that the West has been known to use the Bible for, which is probably why places where religion has the most influence still have lots of porn, lots of kink, lots of teen pregnancies. They're trying to control human interaction, and the end result is disastrous.
Well, they still have teen pregnancy and they still have kink. Like, it's almost like they don't make it their personality. And they try to keep it away from kids as much as possible by not announcing it all the fucking time. Maybe, because I used to be this fucking deluded that, well, you don't like to watch porn all the time. Clearly you are repressed. I was like, maybe it's just not making this shit your personality. Just maybe that's all it is. And maybe just they want to advocate against harmful shit, the harmful part of being the harmful part of sexuality, basically.
Most telling, I think, is the variety of research on the orgasm gap. which, as I mentioned earlier, indicates that women who exclusively have sex with men have the least amount of sexual satisfaction in the country.
The archetype of like the concern.
There's actually an explanation for that.
Pray tell, what is it?
The feminist movement. I mean, when you're taught to hate and be afraid of half the fucking population, you're not going to get a good nut from them. Naturally.
You have to be a really strong woman to do so otherwise. I mean, it's honestly the way that modern women have reared their sons to turn them into the generation of men like me, sassy ass niggas, but not exactly like me, but motherfuckers like me, the motherfuckers that are basically this generation's version of signifiers. So clout shark. They are more than likely going to go along with whatever a strong woman tells them to do, as long as they pick them up by like the fucking wrist or the neck or some shit and tell them, "You want to get unga bunga, little man?" Because they're all addicted to fucking Steven Universe. I can almost promise you it would be easy for them to do it, but they wouldn't do that because they think being big and strong and having muscles makes them look masculinely ugly. Meanwhile, niggas are down bad for it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the new wage gap? Yes, the sex gap.
Because I don't believe for a second that people like FD Signifier are making them coom all over themselves, and conservatives are not. Like, and conservative men are not. I don't buy that. I just don't buy that at all, in any capacity. No.
Conservative, traditionalist, Christian. That is a fucking malignant cancer upon Christ's teachings. For Christians, it corrodes the essence of the teaching, the essence, like all the highest values that Christianity like holds so deep.
Your microphone has so much lint
here. Some of these.
I just wanted to point that out.
Why does it have so much lint?
I was gonna come up with something involving his profession. But I can't think of anything.
He's been on the floor on his knees praying for God and praying for Emmanuel to blow on his load in his face that he got a little bit on his microphone. Please don't wait for that. He need to pop a chin pimple.
Okay, but that's lit. Nah, forget it.
He's like a tradition, some of this like archetypical like belief systems that are like generally very like anti-gay, super like anti-divorce, like divorce is like a sin, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like pressuring to like a punitive tortured psyche moment for kids when it comes to puberty, when it comes to sex, when it comes to premarital sex. Some views on like abortion, views on some things about like
what does abortion have to do with having a fulfilling sex life? Like you can't nut without thinking about children being sucked out of a uterus with a vacuum cleaner? It's like, why are we conflating these two things? Giga Chad, $4.99 super chat. The Fantastic Foursome, the Dingaling, the Human Torch, the Human Torch's Human Torch, the Unscissorable Woman, and Mr. OnlyFans. OnlyFans stays if it Mr. OnlyFans stays if coming to theaters this fall. Like, yeah, I couldn't understand that last part, but I understood like the Mr. OnlyFans. No, you should have said Mr. OnlyFantastic. But whatever. I'm gonna get over it.
I would say medically there is an angle that if you have a botched abortion, that it can fuck with your ability to have a proper emotional and sexual health to your orgasm, because you're going to destroy your body and how it's sensitized to particular sensations.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jack Diamond, I blame TLC for glorifying the most gross people to the point where these people want everyone to know every dirty detail about them for free. I mean, yeah, it's not just TLC, it's social media and just the leftist mentality in general.
They're permanently
I think this
online.
shit makes them interesting.
They're permanently online, yeah.
Conflict management and what church is like for what the church is like it's
you meet sloppy bottoms at church. Everyone knows that.
Jesus would be flipping tables if he came back today.
This is not broken up by political affiliation, however, but allow me to present a theory. According to this research, the main causes of sexual dissatisfaction in women seem to be contextual, meaning that the context of their sexual activities is the biggest factor on their pleasure. So women are more likely to have an orgasm when having sex with a woman versus a man, and in a relationship versus a one-night stand and hookups. A lit review from a peer-reviewed psychology journal presented the following.
There are several theories as to why this orgasm
Also, like if you're having one night stands with people, yeah, don't expect to have an orgasm. Because like if women are very emotional and psychological when it comes to sex, like them trying to fuck a guy they just met and inherently don't trust, you're not gonna fucking have an orgasm from that guy because you're being inside your head the whole time, trying to like, oh, is this guy gonna kill me? Because this is like feminist logic as well. Like if you think a guy's gonna fucking rape you, like a strange guy, but you're also pimping out the whole sex positivity, slut thing, hookup culture, and all this shit. It's like, yeah, you're just setting women up to fail in terms of their sexual health anyway, because you're making them fuck strange, gross dudes that they just for the sake of female empowerment. No wonder women aren't getting orgasms, like normal. I mean, duh.
Disparity exists, including a cultural overvaluing of vaginal intercourse, i.e. the coital imperative, insufficient clitoral stimulation, prioritization of men's pleasure and orgasms over women.
Yeah, bullshit. Like, women are always bitching, like, well, at least back in my day, women were always bitching about how they had to give blowjobs. Like how they were, quotations, forced to give blowjobs. Like any kind of reciprocal pleasure was like some kind of burden on them.
69 was for
blowjobs are nasty. It's nasty. It's patriarchal. Blah, 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 blah. And what were you going to say?
I was going to say the 69 was just completely unheard of to them.
I.e. the male orgasmic imperative, a general lack of knowledge and education on how women reliably achieve orgasm, and sexual objectification.
That's a lot of big words to say that guys don't know how to find the clit, or less abrasively, don't know how or are not interested in learning how to please a woman.
Signify, are you fucking retarded?
Yeah, and how come you're not calling out these women for directing them to their own clitoris? Like, you own it. Like, fucking show him where it is.
Plus, it's like, it's so backwards. Like, the saying isn't he can't find the clitoris. The saying is he can't find the G-spot. We know where the clitoris is. You would say they don't know how to touch the clitoris. You absolute fucking backwards poser. Lord have mercy.
It's quotes like this from Fresh and Fit.
It's way more important to protect.
And stop. Why are you getting like, oh, this is how men think of sexuality, and my first example of that is fucking Fresh and Fit. Like, what is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Man bad, content creators bad. Must shit on Myron. Must shit on Myron.
Than to please her. Who gives a fuck about a woman's orgasm? It's useless.
Wait a minute, you said who gives a f? Have a woman ever had an orgasm with you when you was having sex?
Yeah,
do you know how that feels for you?
Yeah, but like, I don't. Like, I'm not like in there like trying to like make it happen. I just like do it if it happens. Awesome. If it don't, like, all right, well.
So, men have created this air where women don't get to have an opinion on whether or not the
FD doing his like fucking his mechanical his drinking bird like say yeah.
If we were to like squint our eyes and if you like covered the hair just slightly, you could almost pretend that this is Jordan Peele doing a character. Have we been tricked, Jay? Is Jordan Peele just LARPing as an internet feminist with his Jewish wife?
I wish that was the case. That would be so hilarious. And it would explain so much.
I would be dying, Jay. You don't understand. Like, Jordan goes out of his way and he's like, Keegan, I'm about to do the fucking LARP of a lifetime. I'm about to have 2 families. I'm gonna be online as an internet content creator while still working in Hollywood. How are you gonna cover it? I'm gonna get a Jewish wife and knock her the fuck up.
Also, another thing about like him calling out Fresh and Fit for this shit, they fuck hookers.
They fuck hookers.
Like they support sex workers just fine.
They pay for the box.
You think you'd be on their side? Yeah, right. They support sex workers.
That they're not doing it.
And
correctly.
why does they have to get? Why is it their obligation to get sex workers off? It's the other way around. They're the ones paying them. So like already we're like, okay, this clip is kind of invalid because like for one thing, it's not indicative of all men. That's number one. I mean, naturally, it's fucking Fresh and Fit. They're scumbags. Okay, that's number one. Two, it's already been outed that they use nothing but hookers. So the fact that he's saying this doesn't mean anything. In fact, it actually makes sense if you think about it, because he's the one paying that person. It's their job to get him off, not the other way around, right? Number three, they're completely in support of sex workers. They use them all the time. So, what's up? So what's up, FD?
Well,
like there's three ways that your shit falls apart with the Fresh and Fit clip.
Well, see, the problem is that they're not supporting sex workers correctly. They're not helping them get more work. They're just using them.
The sex was good because 9 out of 10 times that opinion gonna get your ass beat. It's gonna get you killed. It's gonna get you put.
What? Why that shit?
I just like do it if it happens. Awesome.
Oh, I
don't
went
like.
off of this.
Well,
So I see what you say.
Men have created this air
All right.
where women don't get to have an opinion on whether or not the sex.
I just can't stop laughing at that. Yeah. He's moving his whole body in agreement.
Is good because 9 out of 10 times that opinion gonna get your ass beat. It's gonna get you killed. It's gonna get you put on some type of shit where you're either getting doxxed by a dude or he's going around telling people that y'all and your was whack anyway.
What? Where do you get your fucking You get your logic from college frat movies.
Yes.
What the fuck is that? What is that? You get put on a fucking list if you don't if you don't tell a man that his dick was bombed. You get put on a fucking terrorist watch list.
Like it's such a horrible fucking idea. Because when I went off on this in my chat room, I said no shot. There's no way that women are going to get killed if they say, "Nah, your dick was trash. That shit was horrible. Who taught you how to slang? Matter of fact, come here. I'm gonna teach you how to slang. But first, you need to lick it." There's no fucking world where that's gonna happen. Because that then harkens back to the destiny position of you're too fucking meek to say that you didn't enjoy it. At which point you are as responsible for your bad sex experience as they are.
Oh my God! Someone in the chat said, "What the fuck are you on about Sideshow Tyrone?" Damn. Like, yeah, this is what happens when you do nothing but suck cock and watch movies and have no job. And not really interact with people. This becomes your life. This becomes your opinions.
There's just a whole plethora of
It's
things.
so dangerous for them.
It's so dangerous. Yeah. Can the queens see me agreeing with this bullshit? Can they see it? Can they see it? Can they see me just clapping like a fucking seal to this bullshit?
Could be the day that you don't go home. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Giving the sound advice of,
I gotta go back.
It could be the day that you don't go home. It's
yeah, that's deep, my brother. No, that's deep, my bottom. I gotta cap that. That's funny.
See, now you're being like me. Now you're taking home fucking screenshots to call your own.
I always do this. You can ask everyone in my chat. I always do this.
But you're announcing it now. That's something I do.
I also announce. I do this. Just ask the people in chat. I do this exact thing all the time.
You know,
If anything,
you
got
know
it
I'm
from me.
fucking with you. You know I'm fucking with you.
Like, giving the sound advice of let these men know they can't.
Women do that all the fucking time.
Constantly.
The little dick jokes, the can't fuck joke. Come on, they do it all the fucking time. It's normalized. Like, how do you not? That's the thing. Like I said, all you do is suck cock and watch movies. You don't go outside.
Knowing that some of them are going to snap and do something about it that isn't getting.
Yeah, please aggravate mentally, snap and kill you. There's no logic in what he's saying, but I'm just saying, if you were to go with that, why are you telling bitches to purposely aggravate men in order for them to get killed? Why are you doing that?
To test
Why
them,
are you
Jay.
doing that?
To test them, Jay. To show that they're not real men.
Getting better at
the ability to communicate what you.
Yeah, anything but showing the man how to do it. Everything but that. Talk about his little dick and how he can't fuck. Like denigrate him, talk down to him. Anything but education and unifying. Also, this is pretty funny too. Let me cap that too. And this motherfucker is hilarious. I don't know what is, like, every time, like, he's got some kind of, like, face. Like, I don't know, like, every time he's, candid doing these damn interviews, it's funny.
You desire to even know what you desire.
I really don't like the lime green in his kitchen. I hate the lime green color in his kitchen.
Yeah.
And do something about it that isn't getting better at
the ability to communicate what you desire, to even know what you desire, but then to be able to communicate what you desire, whether it's using a condom or doing a certain position, is constricted by the fear that you.
He's mad that he's talking to a woman. And a black woman at that. Like, oh, God damn it.
Are subject.
Like, it's like emotional labor talking to these hoes.
And that feels like physiologically triggering, and it feels emotionally triggering. So it's scary to do that. Even if your partner has demonstrated that feels.
Wait, hang on, right? What
about it.
Now, I wasn't able to pay attention to what she's saying because I'm just looking at him nodding his head like a fucking
getting
drone.
better at
the ability to communicate what you desire, to even know what you desire, but then to be able to communicate what you desire, whether it's using a condom or doing a certain position, is constricted by the fear that you are subject to violence no matter what.
Then why the fuck do you encourage sex work? Why the fuck do you encourage like the whole whole phase shit? Why do you encourage women fucking and sucking people who will kill them?
Because the thrill of the hunt is just as important as the fucking of the chase.
Like, yeah, we hate wolves, but go out and slap a wolf on the ass with a steak, and see what the fuck happens. Because that's how we liberate people who are being killed by wolves. Just make them kill you faster.
And that feels like physiologically triggering, and it feels emotionally triggering. So
it's so triggering to just communicate with someone you're fucking. It's so triggering that now go out and fuck 20 more guys with no emotions behind it whatsoever.
Just keep,
and then develop an even more negative image of the opposite sex, please. Yes. We need the society to break down so we can have something to make money off of, please.
Keep blaming patriarchy while feminism tells you to destroy your body and use it for your own sexual wiles. I promise Uncle Sam cares.
So it's scary to do that. Even if your partner has demonstrated that they would not harm you physically and all of this, like, you're carrying some of that with you, especially if you haven't been to a therapist where you can work through what that has meant for your sexual life. So for women,
he just nodded with that look on his face. I can't take it. Please, someone gif FD signifier just like nodding endlessly with that fucking look on his face. Oh, that's so
physically
funny.
and all of this, like you're carrying some of that with you, especially if you haven't been to a therapist where you can work through what that has meant for your sexual life.
It just keeps nodding. It doesn't stop, Carl.
He's like a
I feel
bobblehead.
like he has this video, right? He turns this like never-ending loop on of him nodding and shit whenever he talks to a woman. Like, yeah, she would know the fucking difference, bitch.
Like he gets
you black bitch.
In the
You
middle,
debated my existence at college.
It's like in the middle of the fucking video, his wife calls him into the other room. It's like, signifier, get in this room and like my coach. He's like, oh shit, my wife needs me. Gotta set up the fucking defense system. Turns on the fucking image and it's just a fucking gif of him nodding his head endlessly. And like, it's 3 variations of the same clip. It's the normal nodding, then it's the closed eye nodding, then it's the closed eye nodding with a little bit of head tilt. And it's just like, so true.
Yes, dear. No, dear. She ain't
So
shit,
for
dear.
women who feel like if I say no to a condom, I might be beat up. That's somebody's for real story.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Like, you take singular stories from women who've actually been in like dire abusive situations, and you're like, oh, that's just every woman's experience. Like, no, it isn't.
I don't know that I believe that they enjoy contributing to the well-being and pleasure of other people. That's what I'm curious about, actually. I think that the impotence is I can't offer pleasure, and so I have to demoralize anything that is pleasurable because it would make me look inadequate because I can't do it well.
Yeah.
Like I think that's an existential fear of most white men, and
a lot of black men too.
It's a matter.
A lot of niggas. Gotta get the niggas in there.
All about the niggas, especially for the niggas.
I wonder if his wife uses his braids as some kind of like pearl necklace. You know, like I think it's that ribbed where she can use it for that.
I don't know.
Anyway,
maybe. I would imagine actually that she puts his head in like a samurai hair braid and uses that as a leash collar, like to the left. No, my left.
Of one's attitudes towards sex. So boys and men weaned on misogynistic images of women in the media and porn and your Andrew Tate, along.
Oh, the misogynistic images. Oh, you mean like the ones in Wet Ass Pussy in that video? Oh, no, wait, that was made by women, so it's fine now. But if a man had made that same video of women twerking and talk about how juicy they are, they'd be like, you'd say the same shit. Oh, clearly the men who wrote this song and who made this video don't know how to fuck. Because it's just so, like, like, the same shit that Ben Shapiro was talking, you would be talking about that video if men had been involved in writing that song and making that video. That's the thing. Because they have no consistency in their views whatsoever. Because, like I said, if it had been male-dominated, you know, the whole wet-ass pussy thing, none of you motherfuckers would
along
be
with
supporting
their female counterparts weaned on much of the same stuff, tend to be less aware of what women need so that they can come. Men not knowing where the clitoris is has ascended to a meme status greatly because so many conservative states don't actually teach comprehensive sex education, let alone positive sex education.
Pause. Like I said in my own chat, it is not the job of any private or public school to teach your children how to have, quote, good sex. It is the job of the school to teach your children what the clitoris is, what the G-spot is, and what their anatomy function is. And that is it. That is all it is. Their job is to put a diagram of the internal cross-section of the body in front of them and explain to them, this is the vas deferens. This is the frenulum. This is the main vein canal that controls the blood flow of the penile tissue. This is how the penile tissue is constructed. It's like a sponge. That is the beginning and end of what their job is to do. The second that you have a teacher teaching your kids, all right, kids, this one's called the Ripper and Sticker. First, you got to get her on her back, turn her over, and then you grab the legs like the conveyor belt levers on a drunk and drive carry, and you just
wait. Can you imagine if they if they brought one of those fake ass male stripper light skinned niggas to a school to start humping shit and this is how you work it in. This is how you do it. That's the you.
I actually know exactly what you're talking about. I'm gonna go look for that clip real fast. 1 second.
Oh my god! No!
Yes. I know exactly what kind of fucking stripper you're talking about.
Yeah, that fake ass. That thrusting that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they brought that motherfucker to your kid's school. Nobody'd be okay with that, but it's okay to bring in drag queens. It's okay to bring in to put books in the library that talks about how to hit the G-spot just the right way, or how to fist and have gay sex. That's fine though. That's perfectly fucking fine. But ain't no way. Oh god! All right, wait.
I'm just going to show the fucking still of him walking into the frame. That's all I'm gonna fucking send you. They want so desperately for motherfuckers like this to be helpful in the anatomy lesson.
Wait a minute. Wait, because I would open the image on my browser.
It's
Shit.
safe. It is safe.
Damn
It's
it!
safe.
Oh god damn it.
Just go to open link and then use that.
Oh yeah, okay. See, I don't know, but not this guy. It's this other guy.
Yeah, there's multiple male porn stars and multiple male fucking strippers that do this.
Oh, let's see if I can find this shit. I want to find that fucking video. Guy humps bed. There was a song he was dancing to. I forgot what the fuck it was. Or I should say light skin. Light skin humps bed. There it is! I found it!
Throw that shit in there, bitch.
It's on. Yeah, but it's a reaction from.
This is a type of video.
It's a reaction from Charlie, though. I gotta fast forward a little bit. I gotta work through it. It's somewhere. There it is. This fucking shit. Oh my god, this is so bad.
It's cool sometimes.
This shit. Imagine this motherfucker at your school. Stop it! Imagine that motherfucker during an assembly. All right, kids. Now it's time for a joint demonstration.
Now it's time for the joint demonstration. Now featuring Mr. Big B Nasty. P, you have the floor. Hey kids, I heard y'all learn about sex today. I'm gonna teach y'all about the proper way to eat the vagina. He starts fucking gyrating while doing a fucking singing song like it's a fucking episode of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Out of fucking nowhere. The fucking creator of that show comes out to help him and be the fucking female demonstrator. First you get her on her back, then you throw her legs in the Cadillac position. Hold her down by the stomach. Apply pressure slowly above the waist. That's her womb. Then in a circle, lick down and around and again like a clock. Up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right. Now mix it up. Trace positions again. Ah-la-la-la-la, ah-la-la. Spell the alphabet. A, B, fucking C, A, D, up on the C.
Oh, Jesus. We're having way too much fun with this. I want to play this clip one more time, though. It's so funny. I just was one more time. It's so fucking funny.
terrifying and worse?
And those fucking green socks he got on.
No, funny and worse. If somebody photoshops my face onto his body, with this entire fucking thing, like immediately once his head like leaves the frame, it pops up. It's my face.
Oh god, with that cheesy ass grin, with that gum filled grin, like. Oh my god.
Carl, when's the album dropping? Soon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's get back to this fucking video.
So like they literally don't know where the clit is. Mind you, I want to be clear that this research is flawed in that it situates orgasm as the key indicator of pleasure, and that is wrong kind of headed to begin with, but it still serves as a useful indicator of sexual pleasure, and the wide gap is very telling. All that said, the data isn't overly conclusive. I want to be clear and fair here. While we might have lots of data points that indicate that conservatives are bad at sex in a variety of ways, we don't have a definitive body of data to validate the veracity of this claim based solely on political ideology. Still, when you look at all this as a whole, I think it points to something. There's a psychological concept called the
I'm full of shit, but I think my bullshit points to something.
Oh no, it gets worse.
Eventually.
It gets worse, Jay. Wait until you hear his next sentence.
I mean, out of 140, out of like 1 hour and 42 minutes, we should hit something that doesn't sound like bullshit.
The Dunning-Kruger effect that I think is in play here. Have you ever found yourself in an argument of some sort, possibly on Twitter, and been blown away that the person you're arguing against is so lacking in basic knowledge on the topic you're arguing about that you start to question if it's even possible to argue them down from where they are?
Yes, that's why I refuse to ever do a debate with you. Because that's going to be like the whole fucking thing, honestly.
That they'll even have the capacity to get that you've proved your point in the first place.
Guy once told me he was speeding on his motorcycle one night in the freezing cold and was almost caught by a police helicopter with an infrared camera. He said he ditched the copter by taking his coat off and cooling his body down to ambient temperature, so the infrared camera couldn't see him. I ignored the fact that he'd be dead if his body temperature dropped that much, and simply asked why they couldn't pick up the heat from the engine. He said infrared cameras only pick up heat from organic sources. At this point I decided against even trying to argue against any of the ridiculous points he was trying to make, and just noped right out of the conversation.
This is often because of Dunning-Kruger effect, where a person is so bad at a thing that they don't even understand what being good at that thing looks like. Do you see where I'm going here? I think this explains the high self-reporting of satisfaction.
It's almost like you're so bad at making videos that you don't really know what making a good analytical video looks like.
Satisfaction for sex with conservatives. Conservative women are so used to not crying that both them and their partners are.
And keep in mind, he has no data to back this up. He's just talking out of his ass because he's a petty bitch.
Satisfied with the trash rabbit dancing that they call sex.
Peaches don't even fucking sound like that when you bite into them.
What kind of fucking peach did you buy at that store? Did you buy it from the WAP store?
The WAP store.
Is that one?
That's another screenshot. Oh boy.
I feel like the entire animation of him eating the fucking peach is gonna be a fucking screenshot.
That both them and their partners are satisfied with the trash rabbit dancing that they call sex.
I had to pull the sticker off before I bit into it. That's how much of a fucking square I am.
Oh wow, that's so so lame. I don't know what about that. Like why would you film yourself doing that?
Open to sex, I guess, and like my mom was never like, you can never have sex. It was like that was never how my household was, but of my own volition, I was just kind of like scared of men, and so I would like date girls and be totally fine with like that sort of intimacy. And that's when I was like, well, maybe I should start like experimenting. Maybe I'll like guys. And every single interaction I had with a guy was like once and then never again, because it was just I was like, oh God, why did I even like let you near me? You know? And it's
your taste in men sucks, and you were already in the mindset of hating them. So, like, and plus you're a sex worker. Like, you were just like hitting hitting every fucking point of like chick with issues online.
Like, I'm gonna listen to the bitch who's got the anime posters on the fucking wall. You have two
like it's not even like just a poster. It's like it almost takes up half the fucking wall. You can't be that proud of this shit.
It's not because they were awful people, but it was just not that enjoyable, you know? I have a boyfriend now, and
okay, that's good.
I can't relate to that statistic. He's great for me. I'm great for him. We're super happy. But
this needs to be addressed, okay? Now, we all remember his face, right? Deadpan, stone, no reaction. Look at this nigga with this white bitch. Look at this fucking reverse Umar Johnson.
You're not. I don't see his face, though. I see her.
No,
face.
I'm about to show it.
I was just kind of like scared of men, and so I would like date girls and be totally fine with like that sort of intimacy. And then never again, because it was just, I was like, oh God, why did I even like let you near me, you know? And it's not because they were awful people, but it was just not that enjoyable, you know? I have a boyfriend. Why did I even like let you near me? You know? And it's not because they were awful people, but it was just not that enjoyable, you know?
He's like, yeah. Oh my God, girl. Oh my God. That's been so horrible for you. Look at how animated he is. He's become completely Asian.
I would have put my Nutella in your rice pudding.
I have a boyfriend.
And I said rice pudding because she probably got a little something in there from all the sex work.
Like this man is like,
she got some chunks in there.
He's so animated with the white bitches for some fucking reason. He's so animated with them.
I already took the screen cap from when he was with the black chick. I swear I'm gonna meme this shit. Me with white women versus me with black women.
Even though I don't wait with the white chocolate, I still appreciate their presence because it reminds me of the darkness I have to soon return to.
The dungeon. Troll in the dungeon.
For now, and
okay, that's good.
I can't relate to that statistic.
That's good. Yeah, I don't even know what the hell you're saying. I'm just so taken by your fluorescent skin. Oh, you dairy.
He's great for me. I'm great for him. We're super happy. But every guy I had ever hung out with before, like I mentioned earlier, like even if I wasn't interested in having sex with them, they'd be like, can I please at least do something? And this would be like the first time I would ever meet them, you know? And I'd just be like, you were expecting this of me, but I don't even know you, and I don't even know if I want that from you, you know? But with my boyfriend, the first night we ever hung out, like he didn't even like touch me anywhere like that. And that's when I told my therapist that, she got sad for me.
I forgot that she mentioned she had a therapist. However, women, when you are, quote, talking to and hanging out with a guy that is completely different, okay? When we say I'm talking to a guy, it means you're talking to a guy. When you're hanging out with a guy, you're past talking to him. You're framing things that you claim are a part of a beginning piece of the entire the tribal mating dance that is the dating scene, so that you can try to nullify or neuter or neutralize what you're actually doing, okay? You say, oh, I was just hanging out with these guys, and the first time I hung out with them, they're just like, oh, I want to be sexual, just all over me. No. Why were they like that? What were you doing in the talking phase that led to them being like that? And why didn't you have boundaries when you were talking to them that way? Because if they're reacting sexually, you were probably speaking sexually. And if they weren't and you weren't, there's a disconnect here. Because either they're really horny or you're fucking lying. And I think you're lying, but not about the therapist part. Why would you even say that aloud?
He's like,
I mean,
that's the bare
Carl, it's
minimum.
pretty fucking
That is literally
obvious
the
that
bare
she has a
minimum.
therapist.
But I was like, I just never experienced someone like that.
What gave it away? Was it the 3 posters of rom-coms and dating scene shows, or is the fact that she got one of those characters from that poster tattooed on her right arm?
Oh, Jesus.
People who actually showed me respect and, boundaries like that.
Now,
he just was disinterested in me like I was a dead fish, and it made me so fucking wet.
surely someone watching this is thinking, well, my trad wife girlfriend can suck a golf ball through a water hose, or my guy that watches Joe Rogan can tie a cherry stem in a knot with his tongue. Motherfucker ain't talking about me. And
what I'm actually thinking is, why didn't you clean off the fucking stains that you left from the peach on your fucking desk?
Yes, I said that earlier. I was like, get some brawny, motherfucker.
Like, it'd be one thing if it was still in the frame for like one of the fucking takes, but that shit's still fucking there. And I'm assuming that you did all of these in parts. Like, you filmed a part, then you edited, then you sat back down, filmed a part, because the peach wasn't replaced. You weren't eating different peaches. It's the same peach. So that juice has been there for at least, let's say conservatively, 15 to 20 minutes between shots. So you were nasty motherfuckers when I'm assuming, at which point I have to assume that you are also an extremely conservative person, because no motherfucker is going to have that kind of stain around his house and just be fine with it. And also beat it up in the Gucci. The nastiest niggas are also the most clean motherfuckers, because that shit gets everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. While Ben Shapiro has explicitly implied that he's never made a woman wet in his entire life,
that's not what he implied, you punk ass nigga. Ah! Like, he was pointing out how absurd the lyrics of the fucking song are. Like,
and there are hordes of pious young men and women from conservative backgrounds avoiding the wonders of sex for a variety of reasons. It's not only disingenuous to insinuate that all conservatives are having bad sex, but it's also, again, not supported by the research or just history.
Then why the fuck does this video even exist? Oh, like, you're just self-reporting that. Self-reporting, haha. You're just self-reporting that you were a petty asshole who's just making these videos because you don't like people who don't think like you. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And the fact that people are still subscribed to you is actually pretty damn funny.
Local record, whether it be the rumored Gawk 3000 skills of Nancy Reagan, or the various lesser known stories of American founding father Benjamin Franklin, who was said to love erotic enemas, dabble in BDSM, and urge his peers to take on.
And also, you can't say in one breath that conservatives are fucking all the time. They're having gay, nasty ass, gay, debaucherous fucking sex all the time. And then in one other breath say that they're really bad at sex. Like, which is it? Which is it? In my opinion, conservatives would actually have better sex than you. Technically, because it's very well known that if like someone's having sex on the DL, or like if they're repressed and they get a good nut, like to relieve the pressure of their life, like that's actually a better nut than nutting all the time because you're trying to buck the establishment. I'm just saying.
Old mistresses. What I'm getting at, and this is going to be key throughout the video, while the forward-facing brand of conservatism is wholesome and pious and pure, when you peel back the curtain, you'll often find that many of the more powerful producers of conservative thought, the ones who hold the power to dictate policy, they paradoxically are sometimes having some of the most wild, deviant sex of anyone in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this begs the question, if there are plenty of conservatives participating in these types of sex acts, many of which who are the most influential and powerful thought leaders of conservatism, why are they so adamant in their destruction, or at least at minimum denigration and control of many of those same sex acts outside of their small pockets of elite people?
Because they don't like it when, like, yeah, I mean, you did bring up a